لا تكونوا أول كافر به ولا تشتروا بآياتي ثمنا قليلا وإياي فاتقون ولا تلبسوا الحق بالباطل وتكتموا الحق وأنتم تعلمون وأقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة واركعوا مع الراكعين أتأمرون الناس بالبر وتنسون أنفسكم وأنتم تتلون الكتاب أفلا تعقلون واستعينوا بالصبر والصلاة وإنها لكبيرة إلا على الخاشعين الذين يظنون أنهم ملاقو ربهم وأنهم إليه راجعون صدق الله العظيم. Alhamdulillah, yesterday we mentioned with regards to the children of bani Israel, the children of Israel, and we mentioned that Israel is a reference to Yaqoob alayhi salam. Yaqoob alayhi salam is the son of Ishaq alayhi salam. Ishaq alayhi salam was granted two children after 20 years of his marriage, approximately. The Christian and the Jewish books, they mention that there was dispute between Yaqoob alayhi salam and his brother Esau. However, all these, according to the Muslim sources, we deny this, and we say that these narrations, there's nothing to prove that they are authentic. Once again, these are Bani Israeli riwayat. Yaqoob alayhi salam, Israel is his laqab, a reference to him. Israel means the servant of Allah, Abdullah. He is the servant of Allah. Some say that Israel means a person who travels during the night, because he would travel during the night. It's also a reference to that as well. Yaqoob alayhi salam was given approximately, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted him 13 children, 12 of whom have been mentioned, 13 have been mentioned in the Quran. We find that 11 were from another mother, and Binyamin and Yusuf alayhi salam were from another mother. So two wives of Yaqoob alayhi salam, 11 from one of his wives and 2 from another of his wives. Yusuf alayhi salam is the one who carried the prophethood after Yaqoob alayhi salam from his children. It was Yusuf alayhi salam who was given prophethood. So this is the generations of prophets. One was Ibrahim alayhi salam. After Ibrahim alayhi salam is Ishaq alayhi salam. After Ishaq alayhi salam is Yaqoob alayhi salam. After Yaqoob alayhi salam is Yusuf alayhi salam. And this all continues. These children of Yaqoob alayhi salam, they migrated to Egypt, Misr, at the time of Yusuf alayhi salam. At the time of Yusuf alayhi salam, they moved to Egypt. Before this, they were in a different locality, and as we will study inshallah in Surah Yusuf, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned the story of Yusuf alayhi salam in detail. And this is from the very few, actually maybe the only story in the whole Quran of a prophet who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned from beginning till the end, with one pattern where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the beginning to the end has described the whole events in one surah, Surah Yusuf. This was a dream which Yusuf alayhi salam he saw in his childhood, and he narrates the dream to his father. Surah Yusuf is in the 12th juz of the Quran, and it begins with Alif Lam Ra. تلك آيات الكتاب المبين إنا أنزلناه قرآنا عربيا لعلكم تعقلون نحن نقص عليك أحسن القصص بما أوحينا إليك هذا القرآن. Allah has called this qissa, this story, from the most beautiful of stories. أحسن القصص. सबसे बेहतरीन किस्से और सबसे बेहतरीन वाक़यात अल्लाह ताला कुरान में बयान फरमाते हैं, और सूरह यूसुफ की तरफ जहाँ अल्लाह ताला ने निस्बत की है उसकी तो अहसन अल क़सस से ज़िक्र किया है। इज़ क़ाल यूसुफ लिअबीहि या अबती इन्नी रअयतु अहद अशरा कौकबा। When Yusuf alayhi salam said to his father, Ya abati, O my father, I see 11 stars in my dream. I have seen 11 stars, والشمس, and I have seen the sun, والقمر, and the moon doing sajda to me. رأيتهم لي ساجدين. I have seen them bowing down to me. قال يا بني. Yaqoob alayhi salam says to his son, Ya bunay, O my beloved son, لا تقصص رؤياك على إخوتك. Do not narrate this dream of yours to your brothers. فيكيدوا لك كيدا, because they will plan evil for you. They will want evil for you. إن الشيطان للإنسان عدو مبين. And then he makes an excuse for his children. He doesn't blame them. He says, إن الشيطان, it is shaitan who deceives the human. It is shaitan who will bring bad thoughts to them, and because of jealousy, they will try to cause you harm. Then he says to him, وَكَذَلِكَ يَجْتَبِيكَ رَبُّكَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala आपको नबी बनाएंगे, وَيُعَلِّمُكَ مِن تَأْوِيلِ الْأَحَادِيث, और जिस तरीके से मुझे, यानी चूँकि वो पैगंबर थे और उस ख्वाब का मतलब वो उसकी ताबीर जानते थे कि ये जो ख्वाब इन्होंने देखा है यूसुफ अलैहिस्सलाम ने, इसकी बशारत है, यानी ये नबूवत की बशारत है। तो याकूब अलैहिस्सलाम अपने बेटे को कहते हैं कि ये जो ख्वाब देखा है अपने भाइयों से इसका जिक्र न करना। क्यों? क्योंकि शैतान इंसान का दुश्मन है और शैतान उनके जहनों में आपके ख़िलाफ़ जो है हसद और साजिश वो बर्पा करेगा और शायद कि वो आपको नुकसान न पहुंचा दे। तो फरमाते हैं وَيُتِمُّ نِعْمَتَهُ عَلَيْكَ وَعَلَى آلِ يَعْقُوبَ كَمَا أَتَمَّهَا عَلَى أَبَوَيْكَ مِنْ قَبْلُ إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَإِسْحَاقَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you the blessings, and I give you the good tidings of nubuwwah, just as he gave nubuwwah to your forefathers before you. Abawayk, so Ibrahim and Ishaq alayhi salam, just as they were prophets, likewise you will be a prophet. And the story, inshallah, when we get to Surah Yusuf, we will study it in detail. Yusuf alayhi salam, being a child, he narrates this story to one of his brothers or to a few of his brothers, and they realized, because they were grown up in the household of a prophet, actually prophets, so they knew what this dream meant, and they also realized that our father, he favoritizes this son of his. So they say to their father, they say, قالوا يا أبانا ما لك لا تأمنا على يوسف وإنا له لناصحون. O our beloved father, why is it that you do not allow Yusuf to play with us and to go out with us when we go out to play or when we go out for hunting? Why do you not allow him to go with us? They say, أرسله معنا غدا يرتع. Let this child come with us. You've kept him captive at home and he gets bored. Let him come with us. يرتع ويلعب. Let him play, let him enjoy himself. وإنا له لحافظون. We are his protectors. हम इसकी हिफाजत करेंगे. قال إني لا يحزنني أن تذهبوا به وأخاف أن يأكله الذئب وأنتم عنه غافلون. The father Yaqoob alayhi salam, because he had an idea and he knew the intention of his children, so he says that I fear that a wolf might eat him. A wolf might harm him. وأنتم عنه غافلون, whilst you are distracted. قالوا لئن أكله الذئب ونحن عصبة إنا إذا لخاسرون. They say, how can a wolf or an animal harm him when we are such strong people and there's a large group of us? Don't worry. Anyhow, they convinced their father to send him. When he's sent with them, the brothers, they decide to throw him into a well. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protects Yaqoob alayhi salam, and a caravan which is passing by, they carry Yusuf alayhi salam from the well and they go and take him to the bazaar of Misr. They take him to the town of Misr, the marketplace, Egypt. One of the soldiers, a governor, he buys this slave. They sell this slave, Yusuf alayhi salam. The governor that buys him, he is the leader actually of that town, the area. So when he takes the child, and being beautiful as he was, Yusuf alayhi salam, he was so beautiful and handsome that later on we study that when the women, when they saw Yusuf alayhi salam and they were given fruits to cook, but they were distracted with his beauty so much so that they cut their fingers. They cut their fingers. And Aisha radiallahu anha वो फरमाती हैं कि यूसुफ अलैहि सलाम की ख्वाहिश को, उनकी खूबसूरती को देख के मिस्र की औरतों ने अपने हाथ काट दिए. अगर मेरे मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम को देखा होता तो दिलों पे जो है छुरियां फेर देते. So this was the beauty of Yusuf alayhi salam. Now, as time goes by and trial and tribulations come upon Yusuf alayhi salam, he is invited towards zina by the wife of the governor as he grows up. This, inshallah, I don't want to mention all the story of Yusuf just now. Inshallah, when we get to Surah Yusuf, we'll mention it in detail. Then he is thrown into prison. When he's thrown into prison, the king, he sees a dream. The king, he sees a dream who the people, his scholars that he has around him, they're not able to interpret that dream for him. وقال الملك إني أرى سبع بقرات سمان يأكلهن سبع عجاف وسبع سنبلات خضر وأخرى يابسات. He saw a dream in which 7 cows, fat cows, were eating 7 weak cows. And it's an ajib dream, and he realized that this dream must have some meaning to it. So he asked his people, what does this dream mean? And they said, أضغاث أحلام. Such dreams have no meaning. أضغاث أحلام. ऐसे ख्वाबों का कोई माना नहीं होता, ये फजूल के ख्वाब हैं, बेफिक्र रहें. तो यहाँ उनके गुलामों में से एक गुलाम था जो यूसुफ अलैहिस्सलाम के साथ वक्त in prison, he was with Yusuf अलैहिस्सलाम, so he remembered that there's an individual in prison who interprets dreams. So he said, I know a person who will tell you the meaning of this dream. And then they go to Yusuf alayhi salam. When Yusuf alayhi salam, he tells the king the interpretation of that dream, he is impressed by the knowledge of Yusuf alayhi salam and the dignity of Yusuf alayhi salam and how pure he is, because the women, they take back the false claims against him and they say that we were the ones who were on the wrong. We invited him towards wrong and he saved himself. Then Yusuf alayhi salam, after interpreting the dream for the king says to him that I want you to be with me and help me with my duties. So now he becomes the Aziz Misr. Yusuf alayhi salam, as time goes by, from a slave, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted him the kingdom of Misr. He's a governor, wazir of the king now. And the interpretation of the dream was that there will be hard times to come. People will find difficult, they will find no food, no sustenance, and people will come to you. So the children, the rest of his brothers, as time goes by, his brothers, they come. Yusuf alayhi salam recognizes them, they don't recognize Yusuf alayhi salam. Now Yusuf alayhi salam उनसे कहते हैं कि भाई आपका बस ये जो साथी आए हैं, आपके जो भाई हैं यहाँ, सिर्फ यही है या घर में और भी हैं? तो वो कहते हैं नहीं, हमारा एक छोटा भाई है, लेकिन हमारे वालिद जो हैं बिन्यामीन, जो यूसुफ अलैहिस्सलाम के भाई थे, लेकिन हमारे वालिद उनको कहीं बाहर जाने नहीं देते हमारे साथ. तो यूसुफ अलैहिस्सलाम उनसे कहते हैं कि इस तरह करें कि इस बात को ले जाएं और अपने पैसे भी वापस ले जाएं, लेकिन अगली बार आप जो है अपने छोटे भाई को भी साथ ले आएं और मैं आपके साथ मज़ीद ताउन करूँगा और ज़्यादा दूंगा, और अगर आप अपने छोटे भाई को न लाएं तो आपको कुछ नहीं दिया जाएगा। जब वो जाते हैं घर, अपने वालिद से जिक्र करते हैं कि इस तरह जो है वो शख्स जो था बड़ा करीम, बड़ा हम पे शफ़क़त की उसने और सब कुछ दिया, लेकिन अगली बार हमें भाई को लेके जाना होगा, अगर नहीं लेके गए तो हमें कुछ नहीं मिलेगा। When they say this, the father says that should I trust you with this younger one as I trusted you with the one before him? Now you want bad for him as well. Yusuf alayhi salam, his brothers, they convince their father and they take oaths and qasam and they say, we promise that we won't return as long as if we are not able to bring our brother back with us, the eldest one of them, he says, if we're not able to bring Binyamin back with us, I won't come back either. Now when they go to Yusuf alayhi salam, because he wants Binyamin to stay with him, so he puts some sort of treasure in the basket, in the bag of Binyamin. And at that time, the punishment for a person who was caught taking something which was not his, that they would enslave that person. He would become a slave. So he put that thing in his basket, and it was found with Binyamin. This is all mentioned in Surah Yusuf, which we will discuss inshallah verse by verse in detail. इस तरीके से वो भाई जो हैं वो कसम उठाते हैं कि आप हमें keep one of us, allow our brother to go. Yusuf alayhi salam says no. When Yaqoob alayhi salam, when he hears now that Binyamin has also been caught, he is weeping already for Yusuf alayhi salam, and he hasn't lost hope. He didn't believe his sons when they said to him that he's been killed by a fox, a wolf. He knows that Yusuf alayhi salam is still alive, and he's become blind. Yaqoob alayhi salam, Israel. Yaqoob alayhi salam, he has become blind due to the amount of crying and weeping for Yusuf alayhi salam. Now that the brothers come to Yusuf alayhi salam and they beg of him again, they say, please allow our brother to come with us. He says, do you remember what you did to your brother before? So they say, كَأَنَّكَ أَنْتَ Yusuf. It's as though you are Yusuf. Are you Yusuf? And he says, yes. أنا Yusuf وهذا أخي قد من الله علينا. I am Yusuf and this is my brother. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us, and He's given us from the position in which you left me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted me much more. Go back to our father and my mother and bring them with you to Misr. Bring them. I want you to migrate from the area that we're in. Bring our father and mother and take this qamis. When the qamis of Yusuf alayhi salam was sent, his father, he smelled the scent of Yusuf alayhi salam. And he says in the Quran, as Allah has described, I smell the scent of Yusuf alayhi salam. The children that were still with him, because they don't know what's occurred, they say, you are still in your own deception, you're deceiving yourself. You're lying to yourself and trying to give false hope to yourself. However, when the news comes to Yaqoob alayhi salam that Yusuf is alive and he's requested his father and mother and his brothers to come to Misr, they all go. Now when they reach to Misr, and because he's sat on the throne, out of respect, they bow down to him. Now Yusuf alayhi salam, he says that this is the interpretation of the dream which I saw in my childhood. This is how Yaqoob alayhi salam and his children migrated to Misr. So now they're residing in Misr. As time goes by, Yusuf alayhi salam is alive. People, the bani Israel, his brothers, everyone are being treated fairly, but they're not the true residents, they're migrants. They're not the true residents of Misr, they're not from the people of Misr, but they're in power. And slowly, as time goes by, Yusuf alayhi salam is no longer there. The people of Misr, they start to rebel against the children of Israel, Yaqoob alayhi salam. And the king of Misr was referred to as Fir'aun. So Fir'aun is a general term. Just as we say Kisra and Qaisar, these were the kings of Rome and Faris. Likewise, the king of Egypt was Fir'aun. Now these people, they start to kill and oppress the children of bani Israel. They start killing them, उन पे जुल्म और ज़्यादतियाँ शुरू हो जाती हैं. अब जो है अल्लाह ताला उनको नजात देने के लिए फिर उसके बाद जो है फिर यानी दाऊद अलैहिस्सलाम, सुलेमान अलैहिस्सलाम का जिक्र होता है, लेकिन बनी इसराइल का ज़्यादा जिक्र जो है उस वक्त कुरान में जिक्र हुआ है जहाँ मूसा अलैहिस्सलाम का जिक्र हुआ है. मूसा अलैहिस्सलाम को अल्लाह ताला भेजते हैं उनकी नजात के लिए, और मूसा अलैहिस्सलाम को तौरात दी जाती है किताब, जिसमें तौरात में अल्लाह ताला ने मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम का जिक्र किया है और उनसे वादा लिया गया था कि जब आखिरी पैगंबर आएंगे मूसा अलैहिस्सलाम के बाद तो आप वादा करें कि आप उनका साथ देंगे और आप उनके खिलाफ साजिश नहीं करेंगे. तो यहाँ अल्लाह ताला फरमाते हैं या बनी इसराइल, ओ चिल्ड्रन ऑफ इसराइल, उज़कुरू निअमती अल्लती अनअमतु अलैकुम, remember the blessings and the favors that I did upon you, وأوفوا بعهدي, and keep to the promise which you gave to me and to your prophet Musa alayhi salam. When you were told that there's going to be another prophet that's going to come after Musa, the final prophet, you were told that you are to support him. Now that he has come, why is it that you are going against him? And this address is to the tribes of the Jews which were residing in Medina. There were three main tribes, Banu Nadir, Banu Qaynuqa, and Banu Qurayza. They were the ones that were mainly going against Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Surah Baqarah has come down in Medina Munawwarah, so this is why the reference is to them specifically. And such verses, for example, when we say the scholars, they have a ruling that sababun nuzul might be khas, but the meaning is aam. For example, the reason behind a verse being revealed might be a specific reason, but the meaning that the verse holds is general. So, for example, if a verse has been sent down in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it could be speaking about a group of people at the time, those individuals specifically. But because the meaning is general, it will be applied to everyone that come even after the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So tomorrow, inshallah, we will study the three tribes that were residing in Medina, the Banu Qaynuqa, Banu Qurayza, and Banu Nadir, the tribes of the Jews. यहूदियों के जो तीन बड़े कबीले थे जो मदीना मुनव्वरा में रह रहे थे, उनके मुतालिक इंशाअल्लाह कल पढ़ा जाएगा, क्योंकि यहाँ जो मुखातब हैं उनसे अल्लाह ताला जो खिताब फरमा रहे हैं, ये ख़ास तौर पर उनसे जिक्र कर रहे हैं कि याद करो, आपकी किताबों में अभी भी लिखा है, और याद करो कि आपके आबा और अजदाद पर अल्लाह ताला ने किन किन इनाम, कौन कौन से इनामात जो हैं जिनसे नवाजा उन्हें, और अल्लाह ताला ने मूसा अलैहिस्सलाम को भेजा, फ़िरऔन से आपको नजात दिलाई जब आप पे जुल्म हो रहा था, आपके आबा और अजदाद पर जुल्म हो रहा था, आपके बच्चों को ज़बह किया जा रहा था, आपकी ख़वातीन के साथ जो है जुल्म ज़्यादतियाँ हो रही थी. अल्लाह ताला ने मूसा अलैहिस्सलाम को भेजा और फ़िरऔन से और उसके लोगों से नजात दिलाई आपको, और आपने वादा किया था कि जब आखिरी पैगंबर आएंगे तो आप उनके साथ ताउन करेंगे, उनके साथ मिलेंगे. तो क्यों अब उनके खिलाफ जा रहे हैं? अल्लाह ताला उसका जिक्र फरमाते हैं, जो कि इंशाअल्लाह कल हम मज़ीद पढ़ेंगे.